Good morning, Janice.
Good morning, Anthony.
Today we'll explain why not all lawyers are good executors. There are many excellent probate lawyers, or at least competent probate lawyers out there. No doubt.
Absolutely.
But those same good or competent or excellent probate lawyers sometimes make terrible executors. And we will explain why. Okay? So number one, a good executor, a good professional executor, has to have the right support team. Probating an estate takes a lot of man hours.
Yes.
Actually, you should be really heavily involved in this one because right over there is Janet.
Right.
She is the man hours.
Yes. So Exhibit A.
It is just not reasonable for those hours to be done on an attorney's billable time.
No.
It just doesn't make sense. You're gonna go broke. Your estate will go broke in no time.
But does an attorney really want to sit there and hold for a little while?
Exactly. Are you going to have a cranky attorney who's not going to have his mind sharp
really fussy
for like the substantive issues? Yeah.
Right.
But you can't just have anybody doing it either. There are nuances. There's corners you have to see around. So what you need is a well-trained legal assistant, paralegal, just sort of somebody sort of in between an amateur and like a full-blown expensive lawyer.
Right.
And so, a well-trained, experienced paralegal or support staff is just a huge asset for an executor. I've had executors, non-attorney executors, ask about can I hire Janice or some of our other staff to help me, and I'm like, that's not really how it works.
No, but sorry.
But, so having a support team is huge for just carrying out those executorial duties over the months or years.
Yeah. That makes me laugh. Could you imagine you trying to carry on because there's a couple people on your team.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to fit that all into one day and still lawyer?
I mean, to be honest, when I first started out, I did try to do, I did have to do everything on my own, but that's a recipe for burning out real quick. Yeah.
Yep. Those are long days, long nights. Yeah.
All right. So another reason why not all good probate lawyers are good executors is like many lawyers, some probate lawyers will think more technically and not strategically. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, you need technically competent lawyers. And that means that they know exactly what statute or what regulation or what court form you need to get from point A to point B. And they're really good at that. There's sort of error-free, just really doing exactly what the court wants. That's excellent.
Yes.
But then sometimes the question isn't how to get from point A to point B, but the question is, should we be trying to get to point B? Right? You need to sometimes be able to step back and see the the mission from the battle? I don't know. There's an army
the bigger
analogy.
picture, right? The end game, the bigger picture.
So, for example, a competent probate lawyer will know exactly the correct forms or waivers to send out to the heirs in order to get through the court process to get letters testamentary. And, honestly, not all lawyers know how to do that. And they sometimes send out the wrong forms or forget stuff. So a good lawyer will know exactly what to do to get this package out ready for the court. A good executor, who's also a lawyer, will know the same thing. Will know that these are the forms we need, but will also know, hey, sometimes these forms cause problems and cause heirs to feel alarmed or to hire their own attorneys or to object. So we're not just going to send these out. We're going to either talk them through it or have a conference call or just make sure that, yes, the technical lawyer is correct. We do need to get these things signed, but you don't just fire them out. You need to make sure that there's some strategy involved in how you do that.
Right.
Yeah?
You're putting the fire out before it even starts.
Very good.
You're giving them, yep.
All right. And then lastly, last reason why not all lawyers are necessarily good executors, and I'm totally guilty of this. Usually a good lawyer is also a bit of a pessimist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when we draft contracts, we're constantly thinking of what bad could happen, right?
Right. What is the absolute everything that could go wrong?
I mean, that's good though. That's so that we can protect you or the client from those bad possible, although unlikely outcomes.
Yep. Closing loopholes and other loopholes and yep.
Exactly. Worst case scenarios, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
But if you're stuck in that sort of pessimistic worst case scenario mindset, that could be very paralyzing for an executor. And an executor's duty is not limited to making sure nothing bad ever happens. An executor also has to push things forward and get this thing done, get through the steps to get the checks into the hands of the heirs. And sometimes there's a bit of a balancing act there. So a good executor will be aware of all those downsides for sure, because executors are personally liable for anything that goes wrong.
Right.
So you definitely got to be aware. But you also have to be able to sort of weigh those things and embrace whatever solutions are available and good and whatever, so that you can keep things moving. Does that make sense?
Oh, because there's a difference between being aware something had happened and then being crippled by thinking something could happen.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
A good example of this is, closing an estate with an accounting reserve. So what I mean by that is, I think we've talked about this before. Hopefully I can throw a link in there. But, sometimes you're like 95% sure that the estate is ready to close. It's been a while. So, you really want to get these checks into the hands of your heirs. But there's still that sort of 5% chance that there's a tax issue or a creditor or some other problem out there.
Yeah.
So because the executor is personally liable, the temptation is for the executor to say, nope, we're not doing anything until that's cleared.
Right.
But, you have to keep moving things forward. And one solution about that, that's common in New York actually, is to close the estate, but to hang on to a reserve amount, sort of a stash of cash from the
right.
estate.
Just
to handle any of
case,
these problems.
yes.
Yeah, that might spread
like
up.
a rainy day fund, right?
Oh, yes, right. Exactly. Very good.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, that's an example of where you can be pessimistic, but also be solution oriented and just get things moving.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. I think that's all we have on why, not all lawyers, even good lawyers, make good executors, and hopefully it'll help you spot and identify what kind of executor you want for your case.
Yeah. And when it comes to the point where you want to hire a professional executor, make phone calls and talk to quite a few of them. And you'll get the feel of, like you said, some competency and know the right way to choose someone. But that's what they're there for. Interview them and talk to them. You have quite a few calls before someone actually names you as an executor. So if you want to learn more, Anthony's book, How to Hire an Executor, available on Amazon.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Janice, as always. And we will talk soon next time.
Talk soon.
Bye now.